Instituted court, you are already in danger of violating Chapter 6. We love President Uhuru so much that we will not say, Your Excellency, these people are lying. No, because once he leaves office, these things will come to haunt him. So we want to say, Your Excellency, get back. A new Chief Justice is coming in. Take this opportunity to re-engineer the relationship with the judiciary, obey some of these court orders, appeal some of them. But when we come here and tell you, hey, there's nothing, President, no. They in fact said, they didn't say that the president, like here, the president can be sued. They said if the president acts unconstitutionally, then he is open to being sued. That is like, I would put it, it goes into the root of the contract. The contract between us and the president is written and held up in the Constitution. So when he throws away part of the Constitution, then we go for him. That is what it means. And that's what some of us lawyers around the president say, Your Excellency, you cannot be sued. But when you disobey the Constitution, then you have to be stopped there and then. We do not wait for you until you finish. If today President Uhuru was to pick people, and then he thinks they're thieves, and then he takes you to State House and starts shooting them, we cannot say, Your Excellency, we will wait for until after 2022. Then we ask you. There are certain constitutional breaches that have to be dealt with there and then. That's why we talk about impeachment. You impeach because a constitution has been breached. You take action there and then. So when people come here and they tell you there's nothing the president has done, they want my president to fail, and I say that is wrong and will not allow it. The president has disobeyed various court orders. We have said, no, there are some you can think around, go around, use tactics, use strategy. But this brazen disobedience is wrong, is bad for this country, is bad for his legacy. So what my wakili said, he may have been to please the hearers, but not because they love the president. Those of us who love the president, we are crying. Even when I pray to God every morning for my president, I say, Jehovah, may you open his eyes to see the need to obey some of these orders, to be more tolerant, and also to appreciate that his deputy is still his deputy, and until he's removed, there are certain official functions that he is involved in. He has to be there for the country to be complete. Even if we incorporate strangers who are now there.
Speaking of the deputy president, yes. Well, the DP has to continue to strike a balancing act because he's still number 2 to the president. Is it the right time to, like you've always said, jump
ship? I think he is harvesting tons and tons of sympathy. Harvesting. I said it. You have said it here.
Yes, you have.
That when you harass him or harass anybody, people become very sympathetic. They are like, hey, now he brought power. They help Uhuru become into power. Now look at what is happening. So as he stays in and is being left, the president of Tanzania comes in, is left out. People become more and more sympathetic. So he's harvesting. Although sometimes he also jumps in a way that you would understand the way the president reacts. The other day after the decision of the court of the High Court came out, he tweeted very quickly, oh, God loves Kenya, CG, what. And later on I said, look, when your boss tumbles, you are the first to say, sorry, sir. It's okay. Sir, we are with you. You don't laugh at your boss. He will never forget. When the court struck down BBI, he should have been the first to say, oh, Your Excellency, this is okay, we mean well. He should not say, God loves Kenya. It's like God hates the other. So the second message, the second reconciliation message is good, but it comes as an afterthought when the boss is really annoyed. He is also helping in widening the rifts. He goes to Kiambu and he says, I don't smoke, I don't drink. No, that's a very coded language, very coded message. You know, there are things you don't say. When you, they always say when you go to a place where there are certain things, you don't talk about them because people will suspect. So it is good for him to have a reconciliatory tone, but it's not good for him to appear like he's also running a parallel system.
On the other hand, ODM leader Raila Odinga is urging the public to restrain from personal attacks on the judiciary and the bench despite the disappointment. The right things, but how wounded is he politically by this ruling?
Now let's start by that statement is very laughable. Coming from Honorable, the Right Honorable, Baba mwenyewe Raila Amolo Odinga is laughable. Why do I say so? After the 2013 Supreme Court decision, he bashed the court so badly that the Supreme Court has never recovered. Then when the Maraga came, now us on this side, we bashed them. So he should have started with an apology that I am very sorry, in the past we have done this. It is difficult to receive a loss, and therefore occasionally you can lose your temper and say things. But I urge my fellow Kenyans, moving forward to build institutions, let's not do it. But he is coming like an angel from another country. No. He's one of the people who bashes the court. But this time there is fear, because the court is running berserk. Why? From the BBI decision and the promoters, they have said those who are promoting this thing have breached the constitution, and they should pay back. If the Auditor General say they used public money, they should pay back. If the Court of Appeal does not overturn some of those declarations, you will see 2022 when some people want to run for office, there will be other court orders barring them from running. That it is that bad. I have never seen any executive that wins a war against the judiciary. It takes long, but you never win. You will never win. For instance, a declaration today will be used against you, Julie, 20 years to come. We talk about criminal convictions. You are convicted. You see Mark movie Sonko, Akasonko one time. He was convicted long time ago. But anytime his enemies want to attack him, they bring out, you are in jail, you escape. Now, that is the same. An order will be made. One day, somebody now Julie wants to be president. 25 years from now.
Yes.
Then we come up and say, there was a declaration against you when you are at KBC. It is that bad. So people never win. And I think Baba needs to be advised that in this decision, why we will fight so hard for certain portions to be overturned, it takes away the legacy of my friend and my president Uhuru Kenyatta and puts in danger some political future, the political future of some of them, including Baba. It is that bad.
This is the big conversation on KBC English Service. The court declined orders on surcharging the public officers, but what message is Martha Karua sending to the president when she says he should take time to understand the judgment before making any move?
Just imagine, I want you to take the flip side, that Martha Karua was to ascend to the presidency. Where is Uhuru Kenyatta? Where are all these other people? And you know Martha Wangari Karua. That's why we say there are dangers in this decision. The court did say they'll be discharged, but the court said all this is wrong. If for any reason public money was spent, then those who are responsible will be surcharged. But they said that has not been brought before us. We want the Auditor General to come up with that. In other words, on the basis of this decision, if the Auditor General were to say this amount of money was spent in BBI, then there will be another court order saying this was illegal expenditure. And there are several other court orders which will bring problems. I don't know whether it was loan or grant that were given to the MCAs. The salaries which are being earned by the CAS, you know CAS?
Yes.
These assistant ministers. The court has already declared the constitution. There are many things. There are some salaries parliamentarians have been earning by force for many years. Now, it is okay today in President Uhuru's time. It may be okay next. But another 10, 15, 20 years to come, something will quietly be said, these people need to refund. Meanwhile, at that time, Weda has already retired to his
Seme home.
yes, Kombewa home, Camp Ambrose. You are there quietly sipping uji, millet uji. Then they come and say, first of all, we are demanding with interest this much money. We are demanding what? And you never know. I have seen people. You have seen people being dragged to court, being dragged. This is the danger. We don't want my president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta Wangina retired somewhere, enjoying himself watching Formula 10. Then somebody says, Your Excellency, we have just come from state office. There's this thing which you authorized. There's this BBI money. We want you to pay. And it is they say almost 20 billion. With interest, it will be 30. They take everything from my president. Where they paid you a salary of 2 billion, now they want $1 billion. So there are dangers. That's why we will fight tooth and nail to have certain parts of this judgment overturned. Although now the AG also is shooting blanks in the forest.
Actually, I'm coming to the AG now because he's already made that predicted move by moving to the Court of Appeal. But he had first sought a stay on the order of the High Court, then seemingly changed his mind. What's the strategy on countering the High Court ruling?
There is no strategy, ignorance. I would have used a very tough word which begins with S, but I have restrained myself. Obviously, let's not make the judiciary look bad. When an order is made by the court, the rules require that if you want a stay, you go back generally before the same judges, unless they are now out of station. Or you go and get temporary reprieve, but then the substantive application will take before the same judges. Now, it therefore means that an application for stay would go before the same judges. Let's look at the merits. Application for stay comes when an order has been made which requires the doing of certain things. For instance, you say, arrest Julie. Then you go and say, if they arrest me and put me in jail, I shall have suffered, so that if my appeal succeeds, I would have already suffered. So stay that. But when the court makes a declaration that we now declare that Julie Wanjiku is a lady, how do you stay that one? How do you stay that decision? The court was wrong by declaring Julie is a lady, so stay. Let us still continue to in the position where we say Julie is either a lady or a man. You understand? So most of the orders made by the court were declarations. Ordinarily, you have to show the court that you'll suffer substantive loss or irreparable harm, or the appeal will be rendered nugatory if that stay is not granted. Now that is problem number one. Unless they are going to say the referendum must be held before 2022, or this year, or this month. The counter argument will be, we can only have a referendum in 2022, 2028, whatever. Kenya is not being shifted to Gaza Strip. Kenya is here, and we are peaceful. And if there's going to be violence, we then beef up the police. We can't say there will be violence unless the constitution is amended. We are going to say unless the police are beefed up, and if they say that they will talk to Baba, and we'll do handshake number 3, number 4, number 5, and there will be peace. Because even now the constitution has not been amended. But Baba called the troops and said, quiet, and we are all quiet. I left my stones. I removed them from the car. Now they are not in my car. But the time may come when I have my stones in my car also. So, if we are looking at the case on merits, there's an uphill task. And here, you are to go before the same judges. Chances are very limited, based purely on the strength of law, and then add the prejudice of those judges. Now, go to the Court of Appeal. They have to prove that the appeal will be rendered nugatory. The only thing open is there are 13 judges of the Court of Appeal after you remove Judge Ouko and Judge Koome. That leaves you with 13. Out of these 13, ordinarily, they can have 3 to hear the application, but the best would have been 7. They can cherry pick. There are some of them, I know if they ask me, I'll tell you, pick so and so, and so and so, and so and so, and so and so, and the appeal will succeed. I can also tell if so and so, and so and so, and so and so, and so and so are sitting, forget. Because we work together, we live together, we know their judicial philosophies. You can tell, and if you ask me prior, I can tell you, so and so will never accept this decision. So and so will look for any excuse to help. Here, we need to tread very carefully. The Attorney General needs to tread very, because we must also help my president.
Oh, so if you are a Court of Appeal judge, how would you determine this case?
When you are talking about amending or restructuring a constitution, it's different from conducting a by-election in Georgia. If you are having a commission that does not have a CEO, there were many commissioners, they resigned. Not that we said there are 4 commissioners, 3. There were, I think, 7. 4 resigned. You are talking about a reality which has been tinkered with through resignation. The spirit of the constitution then requires that you have that minimum. Why? The constitution talks about 3 minimum. But it says Parliament can do a statute and then set. See, if the Parliament has not done it, this is it. But if Parliament has done it, then we go by what Parliament has said. For instance, most of these commissions, the Constitution says you shall have a minimum of 3 commissioners and a maximum 7. Do you understand that? When you have 3, then the quorum may be 2. When you have the maximum 7, you can't say the quorum is 2. So that interpretation by my brother Chebukati would be a voodoo understanding of the basic constitutional tenets. Here, Parliament decided there will be 7. The Constitution allows Parliament to have the 7, to set a law that will give 7. So when they decided the 7, then you must have 5. What they are talking about is voodoo interpretation of the Constitution, which was done and has been to this morass of confusion.
Let's move now to the Wajir impeachment. The former governor has appealed to the courts, but that appeal has now been overtaken by events.
Oh yes. When you are going to the Senate, because the MCs, they can impeach you for anything.
Yes.
But it depends with who. Whether you are supported by the president and the barber, whether you are viewed to be a hustler, whatever. It may not be the gravity of what you have done, because all these governors have done all sorts of things. But some of them will never even be impeached at the county level. So I don't know what the governor of Wajir, whose toes is stepped on, because it appears the system was so united against him that when it came, it did not matter. It does not matter. You remember when Mike Mbuvi Akasonko was being impeached, he had reached a level where he was insulting boss himself, President Uhuru. Mpaka we said this one, I can't help, even if you want. And the president may have been very sympathetic to him, very loyal to him, but he went overboard. So even if some people say they never voted for impeachment, you remember the MCAs were saying my name, that did not matter. He was out. Now remember Anne Kate Waiguru. Again, when the impeachment came here, we said she will be saved. She will be saved. The president will ensure she's saved. Honorable Raila will ensure she's saved. And she was saved. When Baba Yao Akawaitit, his impeachment came, it did not matter. The dice had been cast. So at the Senate, it is a political play. There is nothing about the gravity of the offenses. Otherwise, all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of the Lord. If you are just looking for a governor who has not done anything wrong, you will not fight. Go to my YouTube channel, The Greatest School. There is a YouTube that I uploaded back into my Facebook page on the good, the bad, and the ugly of marijuana, done by my son, who is a prominent scientist. You understand that?
Yes.
There are good aspects of marijuana, but the bad side, proven scientifically, is so bad that we cannot willingly allow our children. But the adults who want to pray to their God to smoke themselves to death, we will pray over them. We are trusting God to make them see sense. But God did not put marijuana for smoking. Jehovah did not create that plant for smoking. They need to find out what exactly, why did God create it? Everything has a purpose. Why did he create it? I don't think it was for smoking and getting drunk. Neither did God create anything for his worship. They all worship him. They all declare the glory of the Lord. So you cannot take a tree and say, this tree is what I need to use to worship my God. That's not what Jehovah is saying. They should tell us which God is it. We agree there's freedom of conscience. But this God that we worship with the roots and with the leaves, and we have to consume and abuse our body. Yet this is the temple of Jehovah himself. This is the earth suit. You abuse it, you become illegal and you leave. That's why you must preserve your body. So if they want to abuse it, we'll try to restrain them. And if they insist, so be it, we'll bury them.